Welcome back, everybody, to NECC. We are here with our sixth match of the night, and I am still here. I am Keegabyte, but I am joined by a new face tonight. It is Lars Newt joining me in the booth here. How are you doing tonight, Lars? It's been a little
I
bit.
I am excellent, Keegabyte. We haven't cast together in a little while, but it's always fun to cast with Keegabyte. And as always, I've got some new toys to play with when it comes to casting. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for some Rocket League action. This matchup, Concordia, Wisconsin 2 versus Upper Iowa, both West for the region and Emergence division. And coming off of that last series, that's going to be a tough one to keep up with.
Yeah, that was a fantastic series, back and forth all the way. Huntsville was pressuring a match point for 2 games. Finally, they did pull it out, but man, did Crimson give them one heck of a run for their money. But as we were saying, though, this one is it's going to be especially hard to follow up, as neither one of these two teams are doing particularly well at this point. Concordia, Wisconsin, too. They are currently at an 0-6 record. They've had a couple of Game 5 losses and then a couple of sweeps as well. So they are not in a good position. You absolutely know they're going to want to get a win out of this one. On the side of Upper Iowa, though, they're a little bit healthier at a 3-2 record, or 3-2 record, having a bye in week 3. So you know they're going to want to be putting themselves in a good position to potentially make that playoff bracket.
Yeah, both of these are going to be very important games for both of these teams. Concordia, Wisconsin, like you said, looking for their first win of the season. They really got to pick up a win here to get some momentum going into the late season. Upper Iowa, on the other hand, looking to extend that record above 500. Currently sitting, what is that, 0.6 for a win-loss ratio. They could get that just a little bit higher. And the flip side, if they lose, it puts them right on that 50-50 line, and it kind of has them teetering on the edge for playoffs.
Yeah, and this is gonna be one of those where if they win, they're going to put themselves in a really good position, but not guarantee it. But if we see Upper Iowa lose this, they are going to have a severe hole to take themselves out of. 3-3, 50%. That's really borderline, especially in a league like this. But if you end up going up to a 4-2, that's in a really good spot. So this is a make or break game for Upper Iowa, and you know Concordia, Wisconsin is going to want to make that the break side of things.
Yeah, who doesn't love to play a spoiler? It's such a fun position to be, especially in Concordia, Wisconsin at this point, 0-6 in the season. Maybe not looking towards playoffs, but you're looking to have some fun going forward, and spoiler is such an awesome way to do it. Upper Iowa, though, I actually cast them last week versus Southern Mississippi in their sweep over Southern Mississippi. Southern Mississippi struggled to keep up with them a little bit. BD Rue, I know, made a huge statement on the offensive end. As a team, they came out very, very solid. So Concordia, Wisconsin's going to have their hands full trying to keep up with this Upper Iowa team.
Well, it's going to be fun to see no matter how you look at it. Concordia, Wisconsin looking to play spoiler. Upper Iowa looking to really put themselves in a good position for the remainder of the season. We are underway with game number 1. And what a way to get it underway as Concordia, Wisconsin puts themselves in a good spot.
Hey, if you're looking to turn your season around 1 second into game number 1 off the kickoff, I mean, you can't really beat that.
Yeah, not really. That was just blew right by him, honestly. I mean, can't really ask for much more than that. Krupster cheating up a little bit too hard on that kickoff. And unfortunately, that is the way the cookie crumbles. But now, Upper Iowa looking to get something done. It is going to get taken away from them, though. Aker off the backboard. Great little save there by Tenpin. It's going to go down to Big Daddy. He's going to send this one up. Krupster looking to finish it off. Going to get it past one. No, he's not. It's just going to bounce underneath the wall. And we have a tie game just 22 seconds in.
This isn't terribly shocking to me right now with the way Upper Iowa played last week. For them to answer back quickly and try to keep this one under pressure, not allow Concordia to run away with it. 1-1. That's a great answer out of Upper Iowa. And like we said at the start, Concordia is going to have their hands full. They really need to get this game back under control before too much time passes.
Well, Iowa currently trying to get some good offense going here. Tenpin is able to get it onto the backboard. Gonna have to put it through 1, maybe 2 here. Sausage Llama is gonna get a good touch out. Miss from Big Daddy. Krupster's there looking for 1, but he's not gonna be able to contact with Big Daddy again. Good combo clear. Is that gonna roll all the way back? It's gonna roll back to the back wall, but it wasn't on target. No one was back in time for Iowa to collect that one. Had it been on target, we'd be looking at another lead for Concordia, but we continue to play on at 1.
Good job controlling that ball away from the shooting lane down into their corner and taking away the ability for Concordia to follow up on those shooting opportunities. Keegabyte, you know me, you know I love to see that attack near the net and then continue to attack the net and really just bring repeat pressure. But so far, Upper Iowa has done a great job of driving that ball into the corner when it's on their end of the field and taking away that angle.
I will say, though, Upper Iowa has been playing significantly heavily in front of their own net here. They need to kind of break away from that. Otherwise, Concordia will start pushing them in. And as we're starting to see here, look at how many players are stuffed around that goal box for Upper Iowa. Never something you want to be seeing much of. Aker, great touch, is going to bounce underneath them. 10-pin now on a breakaway. He has an open net to look at, and it's going to roll right in. And the sniper for 10-pin will roll through. Upper Iowa with the lead.
This is twice in a row here. We see Upper Iowa break out of their own zone and a big, long shot all the way downfield to take a goal to their advantage. And that's something that happens a lot. Is it's really nice to see teams be able to establish an offensive rotation and squeeze your opponent down into their own box, like we've seen Concordia do to Upper Iowa. But when that kind of bubble of pressure breaks, it always goes one of two ways. Ideally, you want that to break into your opponent's net that you've squeezed them down into, but got a nasty habit of creeping upfield. When you have that pressure and you're not scoring, all the players tend to start creeping upfield and leaving that backside vulnerable.
The way I'm kind of describing Iowa's playstyle here is more like a spring. They're kind of letting themselves recoil back into net, letting Concordia push up a little bit too hard, and then once they've seen it, they are just recoiling and sending the ball directly into their net. We've seen that twice already, where just a slight overcommitment by Concordia is opening the door wide for Iowa. Despite Iowa getting some good offensive chances, they don't seem to be holding on to those chances for too long, just letting themselves go back, not overstaying their welcome.
They're a big fan of the transition play here, but I would like to see them establish that offensive rotation, get some time and pressure down in the offensive end, because yeah, it's great to be able to hit these transition plays, and you need it to be an effective team to be able to strike back quickly in the transition, but you also have to be able to bring that pressure down on your opponent. It wears them out mentally, it drains them of boost, and it opens up opportunities in its own right.
Aker, long shot upfield, Krupster, fields flip, no one was on back post. That one's just going to go in over top of him as a result. So Concordia brings it back to a 2-2. That was just a long shot. That really could have been avoided by University of Iowa by putting someone on back post, but we've all been there.
Oh, absolutely. And Keegabyte, I think so far, with just over 3 minutes gone in this game, the dominant strategy is to just start lobbing accurate shots from deep in your own end, because that seems to have worked. 3 out of our 4 goals here are just goal line to goal line, big sends all the way down the field. The flip side of that, defensively, you need to find a way to shut that down, or that's going to continue to punish on both sides of the ball.
I will say it does look like when there's an unexpected shot come in from Concordia, Iowa's not quite ready to take care of it. So they are letting the pressure come in, yes, but they've got to be careful not to let Concordia catch them by surprise. And to prevent that, I'd like to see Iowa holding at the midfield line, but they're not doing that. And a good challenge here would have prevented this whole thing.
Well, Concordia, with 69 seconds remaining, takes control of game number 1. And this is a good start to this series, but they need to hold on to this for another, like I said, 69 seconds remaining. And that's going to be a tall order. Upper Iowa, as they settle in, they're going to pick up the pace a little bit, pick up the speed a little bit, kind of break out of their own zone. And I've seen them in offense. They've been able to do a great job in the past of attacking that back wall and really bringing a lot of pressure on their opponents. Concordia so far doing a good job of preventing that, but can they hold on?
Well, Aker once again gets a good long clear. Iowa really needs to put the gas pedal down when they have the advantage, because they are letting it roll off way too quickly, and then they can't get these clears like this. I think we might be seeing this one slip away from Iowa here, as Concordia is just pressuring them over and over.
No, but this is a beautiful pass out of Concordia University. Well, got to give credit there. Getting that shot off the back wall, getting that pass off the back wall and bouncing it out. It's awkward to challenge defensively. It's awkward to get out in front of that, try to cut that off and prevent it from getting in the shooting lane. It's difficult to time, especially for lower experienced players. And it opens up great opportunities. As you saw here, 2 players bid on that as they were trying to get it clear. Aker, looking for that leak out pass. Concordia's really feeling themselves now.
Oh, bounced out Concordia. They are playing the midfield defense pretty well too, but they are backing off a little bit quick as well. And that does seem to be kind of a symptomatic problem of the Emergence division, that they are just kind of a little bit too quick to let this ball roll back into their own side. And I feel as though the first team out of these two to do that more effectively, to kind of hold that midfield lockdown a lot better, is going to be in the catbird position. And they're going to be the definitive advantage holders to this match. But as of right now, University of Iowa, they are just letting the ball roll back into their own zone over and over and over again. And they're just not collapsing on it when they need to be. They're not getting those challenges on defense. Oh, Upper Iowa, my bad. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's a common mistake. For some reason, you just feel like you have to say University first. But like we said, Upper Iowa, and to vindicate you here, let's look at the board. I don't like to break it out this early, but man, is this a good, clear line. You said Upper Iowa, a lot of activity in their own end. Look at that. That's all those Upper Iowa players spending so much time in their own end, not really breaking out, where the whole field's getting covered by, by Concordia University. And that really just speaks for yourself. This is the story of the match right here.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what we've been looking at this entire time, is that heat map on the side of Upper Iowa start to glow a little bit red and just get redder and redder and redder and redder over time. And that's you can do that. You can play that kind of spring-like defense where you're trying to get counterattacks, but eventually it is going to overwhelm you, and that's exactly what we saw from Upper Iowa there. Concordia just kept pounding him back, and Upper Iowa, they couldn't do anything about it at some point.
Yeah, I would love to see Upper Iowa, if they are going to play this springboard defense, they have to do so without letting that ball get out in front of their net. I am going to go to one other map here as we get ready to get going here, and that is the map with the ball touches, the ball activity, and you can see where it's kind of in this shooting lane here. And as we switch back to the game, I want to see Upper Iowa, if they're going to play that strategy, do a better job of getting the ball clear the shooting lane and driving it upfield.
Well, so far, they're clearing their goal a little bit better, as they do get a little bit of an offensive pressure here, but now they're just going to let it roll back again. But there we go. Big Daddy Roo does get a 50 at the midfield line. Krupster going to set it up for a teammate. 10-pin is there. He's going to drop through. ZRM sends this one very high, very long. That's going to be a shot on target for ZRM. And all of a sudden, Upper Iowa, they start to try and take our advice, and all of a sudden it just looks like they're not designed for that.
Something we saw a flash of at the end of that game one was Concordia looking for those leak out passes and those quick transition plays upfield. And as they hit it here, it just goes to show how dangerous they can be driving upfield and taking advantage of their ability to put shots on accurately in that transition.
Krupster tried to get a good shot on, but it was defended by Sausage Llama. Big Daddy over top. ZRM, good 50. And it just seems like, I don't know really where to give Upper Iowa a point to improve here on the midfield. They need to be there for each other. They need to be in position to cover each other and get these 50s when they need it, because Concordia is just completely bossing them around on the midfield line.
I think speed, I think pace is where they really need to up the play here. They need to get up in Concordia's face faster. They need to hit the rotations faster and put themselves in a position to make challenges. Right there, 10-pin. Almost stolen by Krupster, but Krupster lets it happen. 10-pin off the wall from downtown yet again.
Yeah, Sausage Llama really kind of just off kilter a little bit, not able to get up to that one, and that was just going to roll right past him. So 1-1 game here as Upper Iowa gets an equalizer goal with 3:50 remaining. You know, Upper Iowa's not going to want to let this stand at 1-1 for too long, because they saw how that worked out for them last time. Krupster does get a good pass. He doesn't get a second touch on it, though. Aker chips it over. 10-pin is the last man back. Aker's going for the bump. Good bump. Sausage Llama shot on target. Can't get back in time. It does Krupster, and that'll be another lead for Concordia.
It's funny watching these teams as we call things out or we give suggestions and things like that, and watching them both go for it here. Right here, you could see as Upper Iowa was looking for that physical play, they tried to get a smart rotation through, and I think it was a good job of taking advantage of the positioning to try to bump to clear the net. They just didn't follow it up fast enough. It goes back to that quick follow through. to take advantage of it, and immediately right back the other way, Concordia is looking for the same thing, and they just execute a little bit better.
ZRM now, pushing it through. Not gonna go to center. 10-pin, good preventative. Krupster on the breakaway. He has all 3 members of Concordia to beat, though. Beats 1, but Aker gets a good touch. 10-pin sets it up for Big Daddy. Big Daddy off the back wall. None of his teammates are there in time to get a hold of that one. 10-pin was in the region, but he was already caught up with a member of Concordia, getting a bump. And 10-pin will finally come up and make this 50. We have an even game again.
There it is, that pass out of the corner off the back wall. Twice, actually. Krupster puts that one into the corner and pops that out into the middle. And like I said before, it's a tough one to read defensively. And if you can execute on the follow-through, just like we see here out of Upper Iowa, it's going to be dangerous, especially against teams that are around this level right now. That is the way to play corner ball.
And it does seem like they are feeling themselves a little bit more here, as we're seeing those glowing heat maps that you pointed out last time start to get a little bit farther into the blue side, as Concordia not really having a good time keeping out the Iowa offense, which is much more potent this time. They do let it go back here, though. Aker over 10-pin. That was a really great touch by Aker, but Krupster was back in time on defense. Not a good touch there. Goes through, gets the demo. Big Daddy over top of 1. Not able to get it over top of Aker, excuse me. Krupster now in the backfield, forced to make a touch. And we continue to see Upper Iowa maybe let this ball go just a little bit too quickly, but they are definitely doing much better on the midfield. Much faster, as you said. They're there to support each other, too.
Yeah, better in the midfield is something evident here as Sausage Llama gets an opportunity and puts it just wide and ends up rolling that one back through the corner. But 61% of the time so far spent with the ball in the blue half, and that's exactly what Upper Iowa needed. They needed to spend less time on the back foot getting pressured. As they found that a little bit, it has settled this into a tie game, but familiar territory. Last time we were in this position, about 10 seconds later in the game, Concordia found a goal and was able to run away with it.
It's gonna roll up again. Aker, no touch, gets it past another one. Sausage Llama, last one back, does get the touch onto the wall. But Krupster is there to put the pass on target. 10-pin, trying to put a shot on target. Bouncer, double commit. No one's gonna be there to take advantage. Big Daddy gets a big miss there, unfortunately. And that will put Upper Iowa in a bad spot, as it's gonna get returned by Concordia. But no one is gonna be there in time to put the ball through to the back of the net.
Do see the players bunching up a little bit in the defensive end for Upper Iowa. They're still struggling to find a way to set a good defensive rotation to get some space between each other, take advantage of any space that they have, get a rotation, pick up some boost, and find some opportunities to make plays.
Bouncing out to mid for Iowa. Krupster from the midfield line. Puts it through top right corner. No one was ready for that one from Concordia. And these surprise shots from the midfield line, when we've seen Iowa execute them, they have been effective. Because Concordia is not ready for a shot from that far away.
No, I think they're looking for those plays to be up close, and as the ball heads out towards the midfield, to start to relax a little bit, start to think about where can I get some boost, how can I position to make this attack upfield. When that ball all of a sudden is sailing back towards your net, maybe not so focused as you need to be able to make a play on it. A big pair of demos from Aker to really clean out Upper Iowa's net, but they don't have the follow-through to put a shot on as the last few seconds trickle off the clock. It looks like Upper Iowa is going to even the scoreline here in the series.
And I believe they are, as potentially an own goal attempt by CRW. Oh, no. One way or another, it's going to be Upper Iowa. Like you said, this has just been a battle of who can get to the ball faster at the midfield. And game one, we saw Concordia do it significantly better. Upper Iowa did it significantly better game two. And I believe you said it at the end of game one. Consistency is the key here. Who is going to be able to do that more often and find each other on those challenges as well? Be ready to cover a potential poor challenge or potential, clearing opportunity. And I feel as though if we see a team do that, especially at the emergence level, they'll be heads and tails above everybody else.
Yeah, positioning, so key. You mentioned it briefly in passing just a second ago. We talk about making plays, making challenges, being faster in the rotations, taking advantage of certain things. where all of that starts is in positioning. You don't get to do those things if you're not positioned well to try to take advantage of opportunities as they open up. Mentioned it earlier, Upper Iowa's got kind of a nasty habit in the defensive end of bunching up, and in the offensive end of spreading out way too much. We saw earlier there was a shot down towards Upper Iowa's net, and Krupster was able to make the save because despite being on offense, Krupster was at the top of their own box. I'd like to see them find a way to balance that out. I talk about a lot with Rocket League is there's this kind of natural breathing flow to the way the game happens as teams tighten up and expand out as necessary. But right now, we're just seeing Upper Iowa kind of hold their breath in the defensive end and exhale in the offensive end.
Well, Upper Iowa, it's that spring coiling and then unfurling very quickly. And they need to kind of put that spring under a little bit more control, maybe get it a little bit closer together, ratchet it down, preload it a little bit, and get ready to burst on the offensive end when they need to. And they do seem to be doing that here a little bit in the very start to Game 3, as they have a good offensive opportunity, a little bit of a siege going on as well. Big Daddy to center, 10 pins way back though. Needed to be a little bit further up there, even as the third man. He does come up now. Over top of one, does get it past everybody, and that'll be a goal on the back of 10 pin for Upper Iowa.
Very nice shot right down in the middle here. 10 pin does a great job of collecting this ball, keeping it close, and then pushing it down towards the net. It's a nice solo play, and that's when you are making those solo plays, being out to get in front of the net and open up your angles and open up your shooting choices and opportunities. It's so critical, and you can see right here why that is.
Well, now Sausage Llama can finally get it clear. Is that an own goal? Yep. That's an own goal, all right. Oof. Feels bad, man. Sausage Llama just takes it back, puts it in. Off of the poor touch by Big Daddy Ruse. So now, off of a very unfortunate mistake, Upper Iowa once again finds themselves in a 1-1 scoreline. And that does seem to be a little bit of a consistent theme here. Unfortunate mistakes leading to unfortunate goals.
Ooh, a little bit of a team bump there. Goomba Stomp not allowing that one through, and I apologize. A little bit of audio issue on my end, leaving Keegabyte hanging here, but
dude,
no.
Listen, man. It wouldn't be a cast with me if one of us didn't have audio problems. Finally, Llama's able to break the tension on that one, but yeah, audio problems are just kind of a thing with me, so yeah.
I can relate. I can absolutely relate. But speaking of relating, I can relate to this touch off the back wall, and it's a couple of things we've asked Upper Iowa to do that they're attempting, and it's now burned them twice. And I want to stress, the advice is still solid. It's the execution that's failing a little bit here. We asked them to challenge these balls a little quicker and get them out of the shooting lane. Big Daddy Roo tried to challenge and send it back downfield, ends up redirecting into their own net. And then 10 pin here, trying to make that challenge on the back wall to take away that ability for that quick follow-up shot. It's exactly the right play. Unfortunately, they just dump it down into the shooting lane instead of getting it across. And Concordia does a great job of capitalizing on that.
We've seen Upper Iowa really lean into that left corner on the blue side, but 10 pin from nowhere. Man, it's just, this Game 3 is a battle of the solo plays as Sausage Llama and 10 pin kind of putting their teams on their back a little bit here in the first half of this game. 2-2 now, both of them with all the goals.
They're creatures of opportunity, looking to take advantage of defensive miscues, almost taking advantage of that kickoff. But Big Daddy Roo is able to take it away and drive that one through the corner. And as Concordia continues this contain, they're finally starting to set up some offensive plays and not just take advantage of opportunities that were given to them. And that's going to be dangerous going forward if Upper Iowa can't find a way to shut it down.
Well, it's going to dribble back into the Upper Iowa side. No one was there. They needed to be there a little bit faster than that one. You can't let it roll back into your own goalie box like that. ZRM, that's not a great touch. Would have worked had it been a little bit earlier on the flip. 10 pin, that's a nice shot off the backboard, but he kind of messes up Big Daddy Root, who was coming up for that one. Krupster not able to get that touch. Llama is on target with that one. He's gonna kind of mess up his teammate a little bit. And 10 pin and Llama just kind of going at it here. Oh no! The miss from ZRM.
Oh boy, the symmetry in these teams is wonderful to watch, but unfortunately for ZRM, They can't get symmetrical with that ball. It bounces over the top of them. I think a little bit of a feels flip as they tried to get up to it. And that gives Tenpin, I believe that was a hat trick on Tenpin's side. Tenpin's just having a career game.
He's doing well here. He's even going to get a fourth one, maybe? No, ends up pulling it just a little bit too far to the left. So Aker is able to catch up to that one. Maybe potentially look for a right side shot on the next one. But now we have ZRM trying to get over to Aker. Whoa, the pre-flip almost worked for him. That would have been a disgusting shot, especially for this level. Tenpin does get a good 50 at the midfield, and he does seem to be providing a lot of the offensive, just everything, honestly, for Upper Iowa right now. And his teammates just kind of seem to be okay with it. They're playing more support, defense, trying to get clears, trying to set up plays. And Tenpin's going to try and set up Krupster, by the way. A good save on the Concordia University side of things. And just Tenpin.
Yeah, Tenpin, I believe it comes on the back of what we talked about earlier, that positioning aspect of the game. Tenpin has done an excellent job of finding the spots. Speaking of finding spots, Sausage Llama all the way to that back post. And again, just inside 90 seconds, we are tied up between these two teams.
Well, Krupster, my man, I've said it to pros. I'll say it to you too. Back post. Back post is where you need to be defending that one from. But now we have Sausage Llama and Tenpin both at hat tricks, and we have a 3-3 game. I will say, Concordia does seem to be providing a little bit better support for their two strikers here, as we have yet to see Upper Iowa break 100 points. Now, scoreboard doesn't mean everything, but it does seem like the Upper Iowa attackers, at least to set things up, and even on the defensive side of things, have been a little bit absent here in this game.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, we're happy to let Tenpin carry all of the glory, but I would like to see them even up this contribution a little bit. I understand when you have one player that's scoring all the goals, there's another one gifted from Concordia University. We'll have to come back to that.
Yeah, I think this was actually an own goal. I think it was off, but it was close.
Might have posted out, but I don't think so. They had to make a play regardless. Yeah, but unfortunately, just help.
When it comes to own goals, I prefer to give them the benefit of the doubt anyway, so we will give that one to Llama. You had to make a play there, and it might have been in for all you know. In fact, was probably like 75 to 80% of the way in.
Yeah, now, even if it wasn't going to post in, it was going to post right out in front of the net and allow that quick follow-up that we know that Upper Iowa is going to be trying to bring in that one, especially with Tenpin, which goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Tenpin, again, if you are on Tenpin's team now, yeah, it's great to let them score all the goals. I have no problem with that, and I try not to give too much credence to the score, just like you said earlier. But not having 100 points until late in this game, if you're being active and you're being physical, you're making good plays in the defensive end, you're going to find 100 points fairly quickly, even if you're not making glory plays, you're not getting big saves, or you're not getting shots on net. You can get those clears and those center balls that add up so quickly, and we're just not seeing that out of Upper Iowa right now. Not to discredit the fact that they do find a way to win anyways.
Yeah, I mean, not to discredit the fact that Tenpin was just, it was all him that game, but at the same time, it feels though he might have been maybe gifted a couple there on the side of Concordia, not counting that potential own goal from Sausage Llama. But no matter how you look at it, like you said, if you are being an active player in the game, you will get up to that 100 score line at the very least before halftime, right? Like if you are actively participating in playmaking, it's going to happen one way or another. It's just how the game's designed. So I hate those people who go scoreboard in every single ranked match, but there is a certain level of truth to it. And I want to see Upper Iowa's back to players that they aren't really putting all of the glory onto. I want to see them come up, and if they're not going to score, start setting up those plays. Look for bumps, look for demos, boost steals, anything that you can do to facilitate your big scorer in that case.
Absolutely. Going forward, that tells me this is Upper Iowa's series to lose. They've managed to put this into a match point scenario over top of Concordia University. They managed to control that last game despite being, in some ways, a 3v1. If they can find a way to get everybody active, get cohesive on the field, Tenpin right off the bat getting physical, they're going to be very dangerous to Concordia University. Concordia on the other side trying to make their first attack here, needs to find a way to strike quick and strike hard.
Tenpin, very speedy for an emergent too. He's very quick on these 50s. He's beating everybody out. Sets up Krupster, who's just gonna chip this one in. Like I said, speedy on the 50s. As I say it, Tenpin shall make it done. Look at that.
The other thing they do here is they bait out the entire defense. There was nobody home because they see Tenpin with that ball coming downfield. And they're just throwing themselves at him, trying to take it away.
Well, once again, we have offense for Upper Iowa. They have really improved as this series has gone on. Maybe relying a little bit on Tenpin too much, maybe not. It doesn't matter. Either way you look at it, they have really kind of been pushing this Concordia University squad back into their own zone very effectively, controlling that midfield line, and even on defense, getting these clears efficiently. Just like we see Krupster do here, and Tenpin will look for that read. What a touch for this level. That was a gorgeous read by Tenpin.
What a touch for any level. That soft read off the wall here, and just a nicely timed, well set up. You saw how early Tenpin was in the air. They were well up long before that ball even got to the wall, let alone bounced off it. Just perfectly down onto the net. Great read by Tenpin as they pick up a big save here. Again, if Upper Iowa takes this, Tenpin's your MVP. Easy.
Oh yeah, 100%. Now, Concordia, they will try and get stuff done, but they have Tenpin in the net. It's going to be difficult. He doesn't jump on that one, though. Maybe a little bit of hesitation from Tenpin there, but either way, that's a good touch from Aker. Ooh, good little flippy in the air there to kind of throw Tenpin off guard a little bit, too. So Concordia is going to get one back here, 3:43 remaining, and they're only down by one, so still plenty of time left.
No, we've seen these teams get even again and again and again, and we've seen it work out for Concordia. You cannot write them off yet. I think Tenpin had done just that. I don't think they expected Aker to be able to make that touch, negative angle back towards the net, and it just kind of allowed that shot to come down. They were caught with their feet flat on the floor. Now Concordia looking to push her down. What's that one just wide? Aker accurate sometimes and sometimes not. It's that consistency issue coming back to bite him a little bit.
Krupster does bite on that second touch potentially. Sausage Llama looking for a shot. Big Daddy Roo is not able to get there. The demo bump play, whatever you want to call it from Aker, the disruption, that was really the big key to that play. Forces Big Daddy Roo to jump early.
Credit to Big Daddy Roo, though, to recognize and got very, very close to recovering on that one. Did everything they could. Unfortunately for them, they just don't get back to it enough. That bump sent them high enough that that side flip wouldn't bring them back down. As we're tied, coming up on halftime here, this has been very typical of this series to see these teams very even until just the last minute or so when one team really takes control.
Tenpin jumps on this one. Might have cut rotation a little bit there. Maybe Big Daddy thought he had a touch on this one. It's going to go up to Krupster. This is good sign, though, from Upper Iowa. They are looking for those passes to clears. That's always something that you'd like to see at the early levels when they are kind of just trying to, you know, figure out exactly the most efficient way to turn defense into offense. And that's what I'm liking to see from Upper Iowa here.
Yeah, it shows high intelligence, but DRM with high shots into the upper 90 punishes being allowed to have space on the attack here. Big Daddy Roo was looking to control that play into the wall. And unfortunately, puts just too much power on it, pops it back out into the center, and ZRM with a great read is able to punish hard.
Over to the side, Krupster is going to take that kickoff pretty quickly. Off the backboard, looking for a touch. Does beat out ZRM, but it was not as slow as he wanted it to be. Big Daddy Roo jumped a little bit early on that one. Had to come back down and didn't exactly control it how they wanted to as a result. Long clear from Concordia. Gets taken out by Tenpin. Has to make another save on it. Big Daddy Roo gets it out to the side. Good touch there. Now Krupster will have control. Down to mid. Sausage Llama got a good clear. Aker is there. Gets it past one. Not past Tenpin, though. No, it does get past Tenpin, but he curls back around on it. Gets a good hook shot to gain control. In the air. This is where he's comfortable. Krupster trying to get the touch. It's going to go off post. One more for Tenpin. Not going to go on target. Maybe Big Daddy Roo, but he's not going to get there.
Great little attack out of Upper Iowa here, but they just don't quite find that last magic touch to tie this one back up. As Concordia has the control of this game with less than 90 seconds remaining. There's a lot of pressure here on Upper Iowa to take this one back and not allow this to devolve to desperation in the last 20 seconds here. But step one is going to be getting this ball clear of their zone, and Concordia's doing a great job with the contain.
A long shot from Big Daddy Roo. Out to Krupster. Krupster, that's a great pass. Maybe looking for one from 10-Pin here. 10-Pin banks it. Oh no, 10-Pin's all the way in the defense. It's going to be a two-person play from Krupster and Big Daddy Roo as they rotate in a 1-2. That is effective if you're going to leave that third man back so far, and I like Iowa doing that if they are going to go with that strategy.
Yeah, you need to be very aggressive on the offensive end because you know if you get beat over the top, you do have support behind you. So take advantage of it. Do exactly what they did here with that quick turn offense to finish it off. And aided a little bit by Aker. Like we said before, you have to clear the shooting lane. It's not enough to stop the ball from going in the net once. You need to get it clear, 10-Pin, with a read off the wall. Gives this lead right back to Upper Iowa.
Well, 10-Pin with his second goal of the match, and that gives everybody on the Upper Iowa squad a stat in every line. This one, compared to the last game, is a full team effort. They are apparently listening to the cast, and that's what we want to see, Upper Iowa. Kudos to you.
Well, now they're just showing off. Krupster takes another one out of the corner, and Concordia is on the back foot. They need this game to stay alive in the series, but now they only have 24 seconds to get 2 goals on an Upper Iowa team that has not looked any better this entire series. This is their peak performance yet.
Oh yeah, right now they're absolutely dominant. Although, ooh, Big Daddy Roo coming back to the goal. Drops it down for 10-Pin. 10-Pin beats him there. All they need to do is keep this on the blue side now. Aker gonna flick it past one. Krupster has to take this one back and control it. Does lose control a little bit, but that might be enough to get the job done. It will. It's going to be Upper Iowa taking this series in 4.
Upper Iowa, so comfortable from the back end of the field. I have to do it. I have to vindicate. I'm sorry. But as Upper Iowa takes their victory in 4 games, that's a decent showing out of Concordia University. They took a game off of a pretty solid Upper Iowa team, and they don't end up in a game 5 loss, and they don't end up sweeping. I think this is a first for Concordia University.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't have the stats up in front of me right now. Yeah, it's not a game 5. Yeah, it's not a game 5, and it's not a sweep. So lost in 4. You know, at least you were able to get 1 off of Upper Iowa, and small victories, man. But as for Concordia, it does kind of seem that they have a tendency to rely on one player a little bit too long. They're a little bit slow on the defensive side of things, which is really allowing Upper Iowa to kind of, you know, get their claws in there into the defense and really hold on for the long haul, as we saw from those quick rotations from Krupster and Big Daddy Roo. And they really do seem to be kind of weak against those offenses. But the easy way to do that is maximize your 50-50 efficiency, which means that if you can have one player, 52 people, and keep control of that ball, or at least keep the ball in a position where you can have control, well, golden, chef's kiss right there.
Well, I need to give credit where credit's due. Upper Iowa finding a way here at the end. Wow, what have I done? What have I done? What is that box? Upper Iowa.
What have you done?
at the end, I'm gonna stop trying to draw boxes because apparently I can't. Playing this game from the defensive end, and they just are so efficient offensively, but we can kind of see, you can kind of make out some of these quick turns that they were making in the offensive end to try to get this attack on the net and bring that pressure down. I do like to see this up here out of out of Concordia, because they're getting all over the field. They're making use of the space they have available. They just didn't execute consistently enough on the mechanical side to really finish off this game.
Yeah, and that's really kind of unfortunate, because Concordia, they had some flashes of brilliance there. We saw what they could do in the long haul, but there's just execution problems here and there, and that is really what let Upper Iowa get to that get that little edge over them. Upper Iowa was faster to 50s. 10-pin really carried them, not gonna lie. I mean, even when we had all three players in from Upper Iowa, 10-pin was really the difference maker there, the X factor in that match. And it's just, I think they need, on the Concordia side of things, they need to recognize when their strategy isn't working and pivot to something else. Figure out what that better strategy is going to be and use it.
Yeah, if they could take some time to maybe look at some different scenarios and look at some different potential offensive and defensive strategies, just like you mentioned, to try to find a way to crack the code. If you feel like you're getting penned in, if you feel like you're getting offense but you're not scoring goals, or if you're getting beat over the top, you have to be able to have that awareness, that higher level awareness, to recognize what's happening and then take the extra step and adapt to it. That's so critical as you move up in the levels, to be able to adapt and overcome on top of your teammates.
Yeah, and I sincerely hope we see that come out of Concordia, Wisconsin in the future. But folks out there watching us, this next match, I won't be here for, but Lars, I believe you will. This next match is a real banger coming at you here. Two teams that are 3-2 or 4-2 in the case of one other one coming into this are going to be squaring off in the West Champions Division. Up next, it is Lincoln Land versus Northern Kentucky. I will be departing, so Lars, good luck with that one. And yeah, have a good night, everybody, from me. Stick around for the next match.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.